Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor. Right before I started to do this video, I'm in a text group with some friends, and it's an interesting dynamic, the way that your friends and your family and people react to you're doing things that they're not comfortable doing. In this case, investing in digital assets. It's a very fascinating phenomena to me. What I've learned is that people love to pile on you if they think that you've done something stupid, especially when they don't have the guts to do what you've done. And so ever since 2013, I have had people laugh at me, call me stupid. I've had my friends just, any chance they get, take a stab at me. Oh, look at this article about Bitcoin going down, and they don't know anything about this space at all, and they just talk. Well, I just had someone send me an article about one guy I think he was an executive or something at SoftBank or something, and he had lost a lot on Bitcoin because he bought at the high in 2017, and now he's lost. And I replied to the guy, said, well, it'd be interesting to read an article on the people that invested in, say, 2013 in Bitcoin and bought it at, say, $100. There's a lot of those stories, but the media does not want to cover those stories. And then, of course, I informed the guy that, by the way, TD Ameritrade is testing Bitcoin trading on their platform right now. I wonder why they would be doing that. but it never ceases to amaze me, the people that want to pile on you. But remember, folks, and always remember this, because those type of people, to me, those are the cowards in life. Those are the people that will never take a risk in their entire life, and instead they want to stand on the sidelines and try to criticize those of us that do. And those are the people, those are what you call losers. Those are the people that lose. All they do is lose. The winners are the ones that take risks. You're never going to do anything big if you don't take risks. You take risks when you get out of bed in the morning. Life is a risk. Risk is what it's all about. If you don't want to risk, if you don't want to take risks, then you need to just do what everybody else does, take no risks, and have just an average life. You only get one, but if you want to have a boring life like that, then you should. That's what you ought to do. Not me. Not me. And it shouldn't be you. But if that's what you want to do, do it. But don't ever criticize others because you don't have the guts to do what they're doing. But I can't wait, because I love people like that, because those are the ones that I'll make sure that I invite to my mansion once I'm there, because they really need to see it and appreciate what I've done and what I've accomplished by being willing to take those risks. And they will be invited. They will be on the guest list. Trust me. At X Lighting the Way sent me two things, which are both good. The first is French investment bank Societe Generale has issued 112 million of bonds as a security token on the public Ethereum blockchain. And then it says an update. They were the sole investor in its own tokenized bond issuance, according to report from Moody's. Further details have been added to the story. Bottom line is, I think everybody is doing test runs, more or less, of putting different things on the blockchain, of tokenizing assets. And this is one example of that. Before it's over, you're going to see everything tokenized. But right now, you're seeing the beginnings of the testing and different companies that are trying it out. Once they have figured out the formula and how to make it happen and how to make it work, then you're going to see everybody do it. Okay, also, X Lighting the Way sent me this. And this has been a very noticeable thing ever since the financial crisis. You basically had many people that just got booted out of the middle class during the 2008 thing, and the government that bailed out all of the big banks and the bankers and let them take the risks that they took and get away with not having to pay for the risks, instead bailing them out. The government made a very conscious decision at that time to help create this situation being where the middle class dream is moving beyond the millennial reach. Well, as I've said many times before, I believe Bitcoin and digital assets were created to answer this. And I believe that digital assets are the millennials' answer to being booted out of the middle class. I believe that it's not just an answer to that. I believe it's the millennials' answer, those of them that have the guts to take the chance and go for it. It's the answer to not just being in the middle class, but jumping into the wealthy class. So that's a very good, interesting thing that was sent there. All right, from Sergeant Obi-Wan, this kind of speaks for itself. Yelp now allows you to sort merchants by accepts cryptocurrency. Big step towards mass awareness for its 30 million visitors. You better believe it. This is adoption, folks. So now you can look for merchants that accept cryptocurrency, and thanks to VitzeVin, they can accept XRP, any store. Okay. And next, this is from InMotion XRP Travel. At InMotion Travel sent me this. And this was something, I believe Tiffany Hayden had tweeted about this after that meetup in the Netherlands. After partnering, I think she had retweeted this. After partnering with, say, fellow AB today, the XRP community meetup, they must have cut a deal at the XRP community meetups, the way I read this. We're excited to announce our new service. It's called cardtoxrp.com, where Europeans can buy XRP with a bank card. Okay, so what you do, if you're in Europe, you go to card and then the number 2 XRP, card2xrp.com. You can buy with a bank card in Europe. So let's say you're in Denmark and you want, let's see, English. All right, so I want to buy, let's say 100 DKK, and then what you do is it tells you how many XRP you're going to get, the fee, you put in your address and your destination tag. You don't put in anything except your credit card and your XRP address and your destination tag, and that is it. And you're able to buy XRP. That's pretty cool. Okay, from Michael at BAL5 Links sent me, I think I accidentally rearranged something. Michael sent me this from XRP Neo, I believe, but I'm going to cover it in a second. So first, let's get to at Bob in Deep. He sent me this. Now this is funny. This McAfee, John McAfee, what he's been talking about with Bitcoin and how he's going to out Satoshi Nakamoto, it is starting to really reek of a publicity stunt, which McAfee is very good at. So give him kudos for that. That says McAfee, now he says he spoke with Satoshi, claims the Bitcoin creator is furious. So he's creating all kinds of drama around this. And so then I believe John McAfee got a note. Let's see, it says, don't say we didn't see it coming. McAfee is not unveiling the true identity of Satoshi Nakamoto, at least not today. The tech maverick has put a stop to proceedings, alleging that due to imminent extradition requests to the United States, McAfee's attorney believes outing Nakamoto to the world could be too dangerous for his client. And so this is a McAfee tweet. The U.S. extradition to request to the Bahamas is imminent. I met with Mario Gray, my extradition attorney, and it's now clear. Read his letter below that releasing the identity of Satoshi at this time could influence the trial and risk my extradition. I cannot risk that. I'll wait. So my question is, this is apparently a letter from McAfee's attorney who he met with to John McAfee, warning him that Satoshi Nakamoto, you don't need this. Further to our conversation with respect to the above caption based on what you've said to me, there are a number of ramifications which could include a possible lawsuit or other legal. So my question is, he's met with his attorney, why in the world would his attorney then have to turn around and write him a letter, unless it's all for dramatic effect with this whole thing to keep getting him followers? And I mean, so this is kind of ridiculous and a joke. But he's got the whole world talking about it now. And then he says, and then he goes on to say, people forget that I am a technologist. I'm one of the best. Let's see. Don't worry. There's more. Big John claims that he has actually spoken to Satoshi. The technologist has struck a nerve with the Bitcoin creator. I've spoken with him, and he is not a happy camper with my attempt to out him. It's pure gold. Anyway, John McCain, this right here reeks of someone who is trying to get some attention. When I start seeing attorney, let me meet with your attorney, then he's got to send you a letter so that everybody can see the letter of all the scariness going on. It's pretty awesome. Kudos to John McAfee. I love him. What would we do without the guy being here? It's interesting. Then from Brian Melancholy XRP at Mike_Honcho11, or Mike Honcho_11, sent this. Samsung is developing an Ethereum-based blockchain network and is eyeing the eventual issuance of a Samsung coin token. We've got another walled garden. I love walled gardens because that's more gardens that XRP can bridge as a bridge currency. Now, this is a very good tweet from XRP Neo, and I don't think I'm going to read the whole thing, but you should go and read it. He's at XRP_Anderson. He says, today, I felt like I was red-pilled. I feel like we're seeing a genius plan being unfolded in front of our eyes by Ripple. I thought about Codius and how it could be used on top of XRP to compete with the platform coins. I realized that the issue the platform coins will have relates to liquidity and scalability to a large extent. Now, what did Ripple do? They focused on XRP as a bridge asset in the most liquid market, the FX market. Now, this is my belief. I believe there will only be one winner in the bridge asset race in the end. I've touched upon this many times. The reason being, liquidity will go to the asset that is already most liquid, automatically on an asset with same tech. If one asset becomes the standard, there's a reason for the XRP, the standard, used as a tag. Then that asset will have huge amounts of liquidity compared to any other asset in the space. This is a very critical point in my opinion. This will make sure that no other asset will most likely never be as liquid as XRP or near as liquid. But anyway, in this thread, what he's basically saying is, okay, here you've got the XRP, and all Ripple's been working on, and Brad Garlinghouse is making this a liquid asset so that it can be a bridge currency. And then, the way I read this, and then with Codius, you're going to then later on be able to use Codius, which is a smart contract platform. And then the way I read his point is that then you will have XRP be able to be used on the Codius platform, and the other platforms will not be able to compete because they won't be as liquid as XRP. And so it's interesting. Don't take my word for it. Go through and read his entire thing. I've already read it once, but he's a very smart guy. He's been doing a lot of really good tweets on Twitter. All right, and finally, I've been saying this for a long time, and I thought this guy worded it really well. At BTC Fund Manager, everybody is saying that XRP is dead. It's not. There's too much political and financial power behind it. Ripple has a way of soaring out when you least expect it. Has every time. It's the most surprising coin. He's exactly right, and I've said this several times. I've been through several of the bull and the bear markets, and every time XRP doesn't move when everything else moves. Sometimes it does, but on the big runs, XRP sits and it sits and it sits. And you watch all these others and you're like, what in the world's going on? And then all of a sudden, boom, and it goes crazy. And it does it more than any of the others. Well, I've seen a few people on Twitter the last couple of days. Oh, I've sold out of my XRP. That's a bunch of fanboy this and that. Well, those people I feel sorry for more than anybody because they just don't get it. And they will see soon enough, sooner rather than later, they will see the mistake they've made. And this is the reason most people never get rich, folks, is because they don't have the conviction to really look at what they've invested in. They let emotions guide their dumping out of something that they already believed in for a reason, and they dumped out of it because they just didn't have the hang time and they didn't really believe in what they were doing. That's their own fault, but I feel sorry for them because the digital asset investor is in it to win it, and I will win it. I've already won, for crying out loud, but I'm going to win a lot bigger than I've won. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe and hit the like button. And tell your friends and family that the digital asset investor is in it to win it. And XRP holders will win. Thank you for listening.